let's talk about this game, this Monday night game last night. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Houston Texans, and this was a bittersweet moment for Browns fans. Two former fan favorite players facing off against each other. You got Baker Mayfield, the quarterback, leading the Buccaneers against the Texans, who now have Nick Chubb as their top running back after Joe Mixon seems to be like he's probably going to be out for the season. And the only other guy on the roster really is late round rookie Woody Marks. So Nick Chubb's the lead back there. So you get two guys who are kind of revitalizing their careers in different spots. Baker Mayfield obviously in his third season now with the Buccaneers, and Nick Chubb in his first season removed from the Browns into another situation. Let me just kind of pull up here what they did last night. Okay, so we get Baker out there, 25 of 38, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, took 4 sacks for 24 yards lost. In NFL quarterback terms, it was a good game, but not like an above average game. 215 yards, okay, 2 touchdowns, nice, no picks, that's great. 4 sacks, 24 yards lost, you don't want to see that. And overall, though, when you're watching the game, Baker Mayfield definitely still has that. He's got that moxie, baby. He's got that mojo. He can just energize an offense. And, the way he picks up first downs, he also had, 3 carries for 33 yards. The dude's a gamer. We always knew that as Browns fans, that Baker Mayfield is a competitor. He's a gamer. And it just was not working in Cleveland, unfortunately, and I'll get into that in a second here. Nick Chubb, on the other hand, took 12 carries for 43 yards and a late touchdown that put the Texans up. Looked like they had a pretty good chance to win that game. Then, of course, gamer Mr. Moxie Baker Mayfield came down and said, nope, we're taking this one. But Nick Chubb also had two catches for 29 yards through the air. So I think we'll do the Nick Chubb thing first because I can get that quick out of the way. This is a great situation for Nick Chubb. As Browns fans, Nick Chubb's one of my favorite players of all time. And I was very heartbroken at the idea that Nick Chubb, that his career, what looked to be like it could have potentially been a Hall of Fame trajectory, was cut short a couple years ago with that knee injury. And then again last year with broken foot, broken ankle. I forget exactly which it was now, but something like that. 2 season-ending injuries back-to-back for a almost 30-year-old running back that for the vast majority of running backs in the NFL, that situation spells end of career right there. And it's great for me to watch Nick Chubb revitalize his career. He's got an opportunity here. He went to a team where he was going to be probably the clear number 2 back behind Joe Mixon. But with that injury to Mixon, now Nick Chubb is the number 1. He gets an opportunity to be a bell cow ball carrier for an NFL team again. I'm thrilled for him. That was not happening in Cleveland. Even if he signed back, even if the Browns brought him back and paid him enough and everything, people want to act like the Browns didn't want Nick Chubb back. I think there was part of it that Nick Chubb didn't want to be here because of the situation, not because of the team, not because of the fans or anything like that. It was just the situation. We've got 2 young, explosive running backs that we just drafted. Nick Chubb would have been part of a 3-man rotation, obviously probably be 4 because they still feel compelled to get Jerome Ford on the field as much as possible. And he'd be getting 3 carries a game in Cleveland. Not to mention the Browns offensive line, which he would be running behind, might be one of the only lines in the league that's worse than the Texans line that he's running behind now. Chubb last night had a 25-yard touchdown run late in the game. Before that run, the entire game, he was 11 for 18. Okay, think about that. 11 for 18 yards, like 1.6 yards a carry. It was not a good night for Nick Chubb overall before that touchdown run behind that Houston Texans offensive line. So hats off to Nick Chubb. Just it's great to see the career revitalized. And again, if you think it would have been, Nick Chubb, bell cow ball carrier, lead back like he always was in Cleveland this year, if he was still here, you guys are lying to yourselves. That was never going to be the case no matter what. So this is a great opportunity for Nick Chubb. Happy to see it. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, we've gone over this a ton of times on this podcast, and it does not change The fact that Baker Mayfield right now has the most, he just went back and passed Jared Goff now this week to have the most touchdown passes since 2023, which is the year he signed on with the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield has transformed his career into this perennial, like he's going to be probably in MVP conversations. His team is going to be in the playoff contention every season right now. That is credit to Baker Mayfield for what he was able to do, how hard he was able to work. Because, guys, we have to go back in time and keep reminding everybody about this. But remember, Baker Mayfield, in 1 year, all within 1 year, was traded by the Browns, cut by the Panthers, not re-signed by the Rams, signed to a 1-year prove-it deal by the Buccaneers to compete with Kyle Trask to even have an opportunity to start for the Buccaneers. That all happened within 1 year span. For the majority of quarterback, like I talked with Nick Chubb, like his situation for the majority of running backs, that would be at the end of his career. For the majority of quarterbacks, that type of situation where nobody wants you, where everywhere you've gone, you played so bad that teams said no thank you, that would spell the end for most quarterbacks' career. Baker Mayfield is not most quarterbacks, but to act and pretend like that situation, the adversity that he faced, did not play a role, did not play a part in what he is now doing in Tampa Bay. Guys, come on. That's not fair to Baker Mayfield. In life, okay, life lesson here for everybody, especially like young people out there that, maybe you're just starting into the working world, or maybe you're just now looking to get married or start a family, whatever. There is going to be adversity. You are going to become a person at some point in your life that you would never, ever have become that specific person had it not been for X, Y, and Z in your past. If X, Y, and Z in your past had never happened, you would not be the person you are right now. That's what happened with me. Like, just, I'm not going into, the long story and details, but if it had not been for my first marriage and the collapse of that and the divorce and everything that took place in that situation, I would not be where I am today with the family that I have, and I would not appreciate it the way that I do. Okay. So for Baker Mayfield, if he had never gone through all that, I don't think he would have become what he is becoming right now in Tampa Bay. And that's okay. That's okay to admit that, we had him, we took him number 1 overall, and that potential was in there. But it took all these other things that were outside of even the Browns' control to truly and fully unlock it in Baker Mayfield. And I think to act and pretend like that stuff did not contribute, did not matter, like his overcoming the adversity, overcoming the situation, being that walk-on mentality of, no, I'm just going to outplay everybody and prove that I deserve this spot, that's not fair to Baker. It's not fair to Baker. And I love Baker Mayfield. If you guys remember when this podcast started, if you have been with us since the beginning, I was the biggest Baker Mayfield guy ever. Like, he was my dude. And it's just, for me, I love watching these guys excel, because it's not like the Browns took this prime MVP caliber Baker Mayfield and said, no, we don't want you. That's not the situation. That's not who he was. I just keep thinking about the Christmas Day fiasco up in Green Bay in 2021, where he just kept, the Browns should have won that freaking game. It was just like the Bengals or Ravens game this year. Like, we outplayed the Packers in that game, and he just kept throwing interceptions. I think he had 3 or 4 in that game, and we ended up losing because of it. And to say that Baker Mayfield was not the same Baker that he is now when he was in Cleveland is okay to admit. It's okay to admit. Just be happy for these guys. Just be happy, and try to separate as much as you can the players that you remember in Cleveland, and wishing that they would have become what they are now with these other teams, because it's definitely not a copy paste situation for these guys.